I'm Sue Ellen Clayton. Welcome to my channel. Today's card is number 3 in the Major Arcana, and that is the Empress. I am using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, and you'll find the link below the video. I've also linked to the many books I've used for my research. In this video, we'll discuss what the Empress means when it appears in a reading, the symbolism of the card, the meaning of the Empress, both when it is upright and reversed, including some examples from my life, and at the end, I'll provide some questions to help you better connect with the Empress. So let's get started. The Empress card shows a female sitting on a very comfortable throne with multiple pillows and a blanket behind her. Most people believe that she is pregnant. She's wearing a crown with 12 stars and a white robe covered in pomegranates. In her right hand is a yellow scepter that is pointing upward. Beneath the chair is a gray shield that looks like a stone heart, and it bears the sign of Venus. She is surrounded by nature. We can see trees in the background, a waterfall on the right side of the card, and a field of wheat in the lower part of the card. The Empress symbolizes fertility, pregnancy, marriage, motherhood, feminine power, and the joy of experiencing your senses and being in nature. It can also literally represent your mother or a mother-like figure in your life. It can also represent birthing new ideas into your life or stepping into a mother role. And it can literally represent that you are pregnant. So let's talk about the symbols in the Empress card. First of all, the background is yellow. The sun illuminates the world and is a symbol of one's consciousness and awareness. Yellow is the color of the solar plexus chakra, which represents personal power and self-confidence. This card shows a female sitting on a very comfortable throne. The red cushions are the color of passion, sensuality, and love. The Rider-Waite-Smith deck shows a gray color peeking out from under the cushions that represent balance and impartiality. Most people believe that she is pregnant, and some decks, although not the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, show her as obviously pregnant. In this deck, she appears to have a rounded belly, but that is just speculation. She's wearing a half crown called a diadem with 12 stars. These 12 stars connect to the 12 signs of the zodiac, 12 months in a year, and the 12 disciples of Jesus. Under the crown is a laurel wreath that represents peace and success. According to myths, laurel leaves do not decay and they are immune from lightning. The wreath covers her crown chakra, showing that her higher consciousness is being protected from the negative energy. Around her neck is a pearl necklace with 7 pearls. These can relate to the 7 chakras or the 7 original planets. We've already seen the number 7 represented in the 7 dots on the Fool's belt. Her white robe represents purity. Her robe is covered in pomegranates. Pomegranates represent fertility and abundance. This shows a person that is coming into bloom. It also represents fertility, beauty, and eternal life. In her right hand is a yellow scepter that is pointing upward. Scepters are phallic-looking and are masculine symbols of authority. However, the orb at the top makes it echo the symbol of Venus, which is the symbol of love and beauty that you can see on the heart-shaped shield at the bottom of the throne. Next, let's look at the heart-shaped shield. Hearts symbolize love, shields symbolize protection, and the symbol represents Venus, who is the Greek goddess of love and beauty. On the right side of the card, we see a waterfall. Water represents emotions and going with the flow of life. She is surrounded by nature. We can see trees in the background that have all of their leaves, and that shows that they are fertile and alive. And the wheat at her feet symbolizes the abundance from a plentiful harvest. When the Empress appears upright in a reading, she can represent all things about mothering and caretaking. This ranges from giving birth to nurturing your family, to taking care of your community. The Empress can also represent a time of creativity and inspiration. We don't just give birth to humans, we also give birth to projects, ideas, and new versions of ourselves. This card represents abundance. She looks like she has all of the material comforts. Look at her throne. She has pillows and she's leaning back on them. She's sitting in nature with sunshine, lots of water, and a bountiful harvest. Not a bad looking life. Compare this to her counterpart, the Emperor, which is the next card, card number 4. He's sitting on a very uncomfortable looking stone throne with mountains in the background and not much else. The Empress can also represent connection to nature. As you can tell, she's sitting in a beautiful garden. It's sunny, she is surrounded by nature, and there's a beautiful flowing stream by her side. Lots of beautiful sights, sounds, and smells to connect to your senses. Once again, let's compare her to the Emperor. He doesn't look particularly comfortable or connected to anything. This card is also about self-care. It reminds us to slow down, enjoy nature, sort of smell the roses literally, and feel connected to our feminine side. It could literally mean that you are getting a new addition to your family. This might be the birth of a child, a new pet, or perhaps an elderly parent is coming to live with you. So an example of the upright Empress card from my life, I can relate to this card in terms of pregnancy. This is what I hope my pregnancy would look like, except it turned out I was basically the anti-Empress. I gained 100 pounds with both my pregnancies, so you could tell that I was pregnant, unlike the Empress. I was also living in Arizona, which is a desert where it was 110 degrees during the summer. My house was surrounded by cacti and not forests. So the idea that she looks like a pregnant goddess sitting on a comfortable throne makes me envious because I could barely stand up near the end. I love that the Empress reminds us to embrace our femininity and take care of ourselves. It really is a great card with a great message. When the Empress reversed shows up in a reading, it can signify that you are having difficulties relating to motherhood. You might have difficulty becoming pregnant or a tough time with caregiving because our special little children can be challenging. You may also be having problems with your mother or a mother figure in your life. The reversed Empress might indicate that you're experiencing an empty nest. Your kids have flown the coop and you are trying to figure out what to do next. The Empress might also signify that you are overcomplicating things. You just need to take a break and sit in nature for a while. You might have a hard time connecting with your feminine side, or you are feeling disconnected or neglected in a relationship. I love the message that when the Empress reverse shows up in a reading, it might be time to take a break and just sit in nature. Yesterday I had a doctor's appointment that I was dreading. It was made worse by the fact that after I checked in at 10 a.m. and waited an hour, the waiting room had emptied and I was still sitting there. I asked the receptionist if they'd forgotten about me. They hadn't. What they had done was cancel my appointment at the same time I checked in. When I finally got to the exam room, my blood pressure was much higher than usual. So once I got home, I took my dog for a walk around the neighborhood. It is amazing how being in nature makes us feel better, and we need a reminder of that occasionally. So here are some suggestions to help you connect with the Empress. Number 1, what are your feelings about caretaking and motherhood? Number 2, are you practicing self-care? As a mother, I know that we often put everybody else's needs ahead of our own. Number 3, are there any areas of your life where you need to be going more with the flow? Number 4, how is your relationship with your mother and other women in your life? Is there a relationship that could use repairing? Number 5, what project, idea, or new version of yourself would you like to give birth to? Number 6, are there areas in your life where you need to be more or less nurturing? And number 7, are you spending enough time in nature? I'd love for you to post your answers to these questions in the comments. And please join me for the next video, The Emperor.